Battle Through the Heavens Chapter 203, The Inner Regions of the Desert. Chapter 203, The Inner Regions of the Desert. In the bright and sunny sky, the huge sun hung high above, much like a huge fireball that was unceasingly emitting flames. The hot sunlight scattered across the golden yellow desert, grilling the tiny sand particles into red-hot small metal pieces. Due to the high temperature in the desert, threads of hot air rose from the yellow sand, heating the air till it was distorted and became illusory. In the never-ending desert, a black-colored human figure suddenly appeared. From his travel-worn expression, it was clear that he had stayed in the desert for quite some time. The human figure took somewhat heavy steps as he gradually climbed a tall sand dune. He gazed afar in all directions before taking out a goatskin map from within a storage ring and carefully studying the precise routes on it. From the route on the map, we seem to be gradually approaching the inner regions of the T.A.G desert. Xiaoyan trademark S finger traced a route as it slowly moved across the map. He then licked his dry mouth and mumbled softly to himself. This damn T.A.G desert. Isna trademark T it a little too byga arriving here from Rock Desert City took half a month trademark S time. If the map did not precisely point out the resupply points in the desert, then this trip would have been definitely more interesting trademark Xiaoyan sighed. He tried to find happiness in hardship while he smiled helplessly. Since Xiaoyan left the Rock Desert City, he had been following a route on this map as he walked toward the inner regions of the T.A.G desert. Because the desert trademark S weather was extremely unpredictable, Xiaoyan only chose safe time periods for him to unfurl his purple cloud wings and fly quickly. During the majority of the time, he chose to walk. Other than the magic beasts that hid within the sand layer in the T.A.G desert, the thing that people feared the most were the snake people in the desert. There were rarely people in the desert who wanted to be enemies with them. After all, the snake people trademark S ability to control poisonous snakes to stealthily attack their enemies was something extremely difficult to defend against. However, these snake people, who were a lot of trouble to ordinary people, did not pose any trouble to Xiaoyan, who had a precise map and the help of Yaoloa trademark S extremely strong spiritual perception. Each time danger approached, Xiaoyan would be able to take the initiative to easily avoid the snake people tribe trademark S patrolling troops. Of course, if he could not avoid meeting the snake people, Xiaoyan did not intend to show mercy. He used lightning-fast tactics to kill them before the snake people could give any warning signal. He knew perfectly of what kind of horrible ending it would be if he was chased and surrounded by a large number of snake people in the T.A.G desert. However, even with the help of the purple cloud wings and the map, Xiaoyan still used half a month trademark S time to arrive here from the outer regions of the T.A.G desert. For this reason, it was little wonder why Xiaoyan would lament about the passage of time with a bit of helpless, bitter laughter. Xiaoyan trademark S finger pointed at the route he was on and traced it, finally stopping at a red dot that represented danger. There were a total of 8 such small red dots on the entire map that were placed on different locations on the map. Other than a few small tribes, there were a total of 8 huge tribes among the snake people race in the T.A.G desert. Those 8 red dots represented the tribes' locations on the map. They were the strongest among the snake people race and held high positions in the desert. Besides Queen Medusa, they did not acknowledge any other individual as their superior. The 8 enormous groups ruled over different areas of the T.A.G desert. In this portion of the inner regions of the desert, the route that was drawn on the map was blocked by the red dot that Xiaoyan was pointing at. How unlucky frowning at the scarlet dot, Xiaoyan helplessly sighed. In these huge-sized tribes, there were usually Doling or even Dowang snake people. Thus, wanting to enter without anyone noticing was obviously impossible. It looks like I will need to make a detour. Xiaoyan shook his head and smiled bitterly. Even with Yao Lao, his hidden card, Xiaoyan could not just go on a rampage in the T.A.G desert recklessly. The snake people had enough strength to be able to fight with the enormous Jiama Empire for so many years without being destroyed. Therefore, Finding trouble alone in the territory of the snake people was an extremely foolish action. But before entering the inner regions of the desert, it seems that I should replenish my water source. It has been over a day since my stock exhausted. Looking at the empty storage ring that had no water, Xiao Yan sighed. His gaze swept across the map and stopped at the oasis symbol closest to him. This place seems a little close to the snake people tribe. After seeing the oasis symbol, Xiao Yan glanced at the scarlet-red dot that seemed to be just across from the symbol, and he frowned involuntarily. Unfortunately, there are trademark S only this oasis in a 50-kilometer radius. Xiao Yan muttered softly. A moment later, he helplessly shook his head and stored the map into the storage ring. It is a little close on the map. I think that the distance should be at least a few kilometers. I will quickly leave after getting some water. The snake people should not be able to notice me. After he reassured himself in his heart, Xiao Yan opened his stride and quickly strode toward the distant oasis. A horse could die when it galloped toward a mountain it sees. A map can also cause people to run until their deaths. Although the route was only a tiny bit long on the map, Xiao Yan had to walk a total of 3 hours. Only when the sky was gradually becoming darker did a corner of that fresh green oasis appear quietly. Watching that small oasis that sat out on a plain, Xiao Yan sighed in relief. He tightened the heavy Xian ruler on his back and cautiously swept his gaze over his surroundings. When he did not find any trace of the snake people, he used the cover of the darkening sky to swiftly and stealthily head for the oasis. As he gradually closed in on the oasis, the surrounding hot air also began to become cool and refreshing. Xiao Yan once again glanced at his surroundings before leaping into the fresh green woods. His body was gradually hidden in the foliage. Xiao Yan gently took in the fragrance of the small grass beside him before he exhaled comfortably. Within the desert, any little green color was treated as a treasure by people. Xiao Yan trademark S palm touched his chin as his body moved through the woods. His eyes swept in all directions, searching for the place where the water source was. As Xiao Yan gradually moved his gaze, he also slowly entered deeper into the oasis. He was about to become a little frustrated from having failed to find a water source when he heard the splashing sound of water a short distance ahead. Upon hearing the sound of water, Xiao Yan immediately heaved a sigh of relief. The anxiousness in his heart was also extinguished by the clear sound of water. However, before he was about to charge out of the woods, his gaze, which was looking out from a gap within the forest, suddenly paused. His body immediately crouched down and his breathing was suppressed to the lowest volume. On a small path that led to the other side of the oasis, a few snake women with fit bodies and cold faces stood still. Their sharp gazes continued to sweep through the surrounding woods and they held their weapons tightly in their hands. It appeared that they were prepared to kill anyone who charged in. Perhaps it was the desert environment, but these snake people women had very dark skin. Their slightly beautiful appearance accompanied by their uniquely rhombus-shaped eyes caused people to feel a strange addiction, and their seductive waists were like that of a water snake. Trademark S. In the human world, whenever a snake woman slave would perform an exotic dance, it was not uncommon to find some of the surrounding men that were watching and had weak mental strength, become erect and have their faces filled with humiliation. Naturally, the current Xiao Yan was not interested in admiring the beautiful snake people women. Trademark S addictive snake-like waists. When he first glanced at these few snake people women, his expression became a little ugly. The reason for this was because his outstanding spiritual perception let him realize that among these few female snake people, there were actually 4 doshis. The remaining few were all very strong doshis. Why are they clustered here at this time? Eyeing the snake women with their somewhat strong formation, Xiao Yan trademark S mouth felt bitter. He softly laughed bitterly while he shifted his gaze around. After suppressing his breath to the weakest, he gradually moved his body and quietly and carefully headed toward the place where the sound of water originated from. Borrowing the gradually darkening sky, Xiao Yan luckily avoided the scanning eyes of this group of snake women. He followed the sound of water and finally neared the source of water. Xiaoyana Euro trademark S finger silently pulled open the cover of the tree leaves as he shot his gaze out. A clean lake appeared in his sight. The clean lake water caused Xiaoyan, who had lost his source of water for a day, to involuntarily swallow a bit of saliva that had rarely appeared since a day ago. A euro splash, a euro, a euro. Just as Xiaoyan was filled with joy and planned to obtain water, a sound of water parting pulled his gaze over. Instantly, his body stiffened. His mouth opened as he stared blankly at the human figure that appeared at the spot where the water was parted, a euro. Within the lake, the back of a lady with a hot figure shot out from the bottom of the lake. With her back facing Xiaoyan, she shook her long hair that was stuck to her snow-white shoulders. Drops of water were pasted on her skin, which appeared so fragile that it would break when one blew on it. The drops of water followed the contours of her shoulders and slid past her extremely seductive narrow waist and finally fell back into the lake, creating ripples. Although they were a little far apart, Xiaoyan was still able to clearly see how flexible that tight waist was. It was difficult to imagine just what kind of shocking angles that flexible narrow waist could twist to. The Lydia Euro trademark S narrow hand carelessly seized her long hair and gradually turned around. As the lady turned her body around, her naked perfect body was instantly exposed to Xiaoyana Euro trademark S vision. The person, who was still a virgin, immediately felt his blood surging. Ga Euro. The perfect body that appeared to be carved from white jade was like the masterpiece of the heavens. The supple and protruding chest was proudly revealed in the somewhat wet, cool air. Under the faint moonlight, her appearance was both lovely and enchanting. The beautiful rhombus-shaped eyes contained traces of passion-filled moisture.